Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Loose Juice channel. It's that time of year again. A lot of folks are getting prepared, getting ready to head out to the Forgotten Angels Campout in Valrico, Florida. So, where is it? If you haven't been before, it's at 3604 Little Stearns Road, Valrico, Florida, 33596. You can Google it. I promise you, this is not private information. If you go on Google or whichever your preferred platform is, if you're a Bing weirdo, you can type in Forgotten Angels, Florida, and you'll find the address. Right. So then that leads me into when. So the camp out for Forgotten Angels this October 2023 is going to be from the 26th to the 29th. If you arrive sooner than this, be prepared to volunteer. And we'll get into that a little bit more in the video. But also, again, if you're new to this and you're not sure what Forgotten Angels is, this is a charity that is meant for supporting young men who have aged out of the foster care system. So in a lot of cases, David and Cindy, the people who run this organization, they pick up the slack for the foster homes that kick out these young men on their 18th birthday, literally give them a trash bag and tell them to take their possessions, which aren't typically that much, kick them out the door, find your way. So your donations to Forgotten Angels, which I'll probably pop a link maybe in the description, your donations to the raffle for a house, motorcycle, that goes to supporting those young men. So any sort of financial needs they have, that money goes directly to them. So it's not going through a board of directors or trickling its way down. This money does get used for the purpose that is intended. So I want to put this video together. I did a similar one last year, but I've been to another one and I've chatted with some other people and just want to reiterate and share some thoughts on what to expect, what you should bring, some general guidelines, some rules. They're not written down rules, but this is like rules that people generally agree apply while you're on property. And then I'll kind of get into some of the miscellaneous things that maybe apply to this particular weekend, and then how best to contact people if you have additional questions. So if you're going to stay on property, which not everyone does, some people get a hotel, which is perfectly fine, but my opinion is you'll have a better time if you stay on property. A lot of the fun happens late into the evening. But if you're going to stay there, know that there's no fee. There's no gate person. You don't have to check in with David and Cindy once you arrive. When you pull in, if it's on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it'll be pretty obvious where people are camping. So a good chunk of people, as you enter the property, they head over to the right. There's some trees. You'll see tents all over. Just find a spot. If there's a bunch of people there, you may have to be somewhat close to other tents, but I think in the past, the property is big enough to be well sprawled out, and especially if you are meeting up with some folks, just put your tents together, find your people. If you don't know anybody, don't be afraid to just go up to somebody that's all set up and say, "Hey, do you mind if I set up next to you?" And I really don't know anybody that would be like, "No, you got to go, kick rocks, man." That's just not the kind of people you're gonna meet there. So get set up, and then. One of my rules, rule number 7 on my list below is, if you are the type of person that isn't very social, or if you see people while you're on the property that are just kind of like hanging out there, they don't look like they have a purpose or a sense of understanding of what to do next, go talk to people. This is the place to do it. You're going to hopefully make lifelong friends, or at least for that weekend, have a really great time with people that you otherwise wouldn't know in real life. So don't be too shy. I think a lot of people, myself included, introverts, but this is our home. This is our family that we choose. So just go up to people, make friends, have fun. All right. So then, yes, free camping, free food, free beer. Other things to bring. Although some people have more or less of it, I do highly recommend bringing money or some form of payment. Make sure that you have gas money to get there and get home. That's a reminder. I hope I don't have to say, but I'm pretty sure it's been an issue in the past. So please make sure that you prepare to actually get there and leave. Um, but I also mentioned money because you're also very much so welcome to donate while on property. I don't. In the past, there's been certain things that maybe if there was like a raffle or a prize drawing, people that donated. I'm trying to think of an exact. Well, Josh gave away a gold wing on property, and I want to say that there was a specific pool of people that were on property. If you donate, or if they just hand out tickets, it's for the kids. So just be prepared to spend money. Although that being said, if you don't have money to spend, that's okay. Just by being there, by telling people about Forgotten Angels, you're already doing more than 99 point a lot percent of the United States of America. So don't feel bad if you don't have money to spend. But for those of you that do, definitely bring money because you can donate. Or I know in the past, Shay has set up a booth for Brapstar merch. I know there will be other people there with merch, perhaps myself. Shameless plug. I'm actually not even wearing one of my hats. I'll have hats for sale. And then I've got myself and Rainey and a few other people have something that I've talked about on live stream before, but we're going to have shirts to give away, but perhaps we might do it as if you donate to the charity, you can get a shirt. So TBD on that, but there's definitely going to be merch to buy there from Brapstar, from other YouTubers. So hopefully you can budget some for that as well. I know myself included, we greatly appreciate that. Also bring a good attitude. This is not a biker rally in the sense that you got to show up and be real tough guy biker. Oh yeah, real biker. I ride Harley. I know Daytona Bike Week, I think, usually lines up with the March one. I don't know, something like that. So in the past, there's been a couple. There's always oddballs, but for the most part, people here at the Campout, that's not the way that we really think and operate. We're not like you got to prove something or be a tough guy. I know I'd gotten a question in one of our Weirdos Assemble live streams about, is that okay to wear my MC's cuts, or if you're in a riding club? Yeah, you could wear your colors, but I will say that's again, you're kind of going to be an oddball out. There's just not that many people that do that or are part of those groups that show up. Or if they are, then they're not wearing their colors when they're here on property. So you're welcome to do it, but I don't know. Just don't expect that you're going to see a whole lot of other people from MCs or RCs. Cool. Bring good attitude. And then the other thing that comes up a lot in the Shade Tree Discord, which we have a thread dedicated to these campouts, but people are always asking, what's the agenda? What's the timeline? When's the group ride? From my experience, which I've gone to a few of these now at this point, you'll find out the time for group rides in any event, anything that we really want to do collectively as a group, you're going to find out probably by the Thursday of the campout. So you'll probably already be on property if you're going to be there. So if you show up between Monday and Wednesday, or perhaps sooner than that, I think the expectation is that you've already been to this campout before. You're familiar with David and Cindy. If you show up, in that timeline, and you haven't been before, and maybe you're showing up on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, that's okay. But be prepared to volunteer. It's not. It is a party, but there's a lot of work that goes into this, and there's going to be people there just setting up. So my point is, if you show up on Monday and you just think you're going to sit there and do nothing, it might be a little alienating now. All right, sorry about that. I was having some audio issues. So anyways, I was saying, if you show up sooner than about Wednesday, be prepared to volunteer. Otherwise, you're probably going to be like oddball out. It's not. This is their home, so there's going to be David and Cindy there, and then some people that have been to Forgotten Angels Campout before that come early just for the purpose of volunteering. That's what you're going to expect. It's not going to be a huge crowd of people, but if you want to show up sooner than Monday, I would highly recommend clearing that with David and Cindy first.
All right, so then that leads us into about Thursday, which is kind of the official, unofficial pre camp out accepted day for, if you want to show up, then it's a great day to show up. A lot of people will do that. In terms of set events, there historically was a ride out to the Burt Bike Night. If that occurs, which I don't think it would occur in the same sense it had in the past, it's not going to be a big group ride with blockers. The people that want to go, you'll split off into smaller groups. Everybody kind of just responsible for themselves or their groups. Not going to be like a Forgotten Angels sanctioned ride out to Birds, if that makes sense. But I would highly, highly recommend that you meet up with some people, meet new people, go on smaller group rides around the property. Valrico, that area that this property's in, it doesn't take much to just get off of the suburban beaten path and end up in the countryside and the fruit orchards, and makes for really really nice riding. So Thursday, you'll expect that people will be coming and going. Typically, they do have food like Thursday evening. I know that I think it might have been last October or maybe it was last March. We had a seafood boil, which that was awesome. So that'll happen, but not a lot of other planned events. Just hang out, eat, drink your beverages of your choosing. Also, I know I've got this question as well, is like, can you bring in outside food and beverage? Yeah, of course. So then Friday morning, there's typically a group ride. I would expect that. So that happens sometime between 9 and let's just say 10, maybe 11 a.m. You'll hear all the motorcycles wrapping up and getting ready, and then usually they will do a small like instructional how to do a group ride thing for the people that are new to it. And then we'll go out again. It'll be an easy going route around the countryside. And then the Friday, it'll progress. There'll be food. Typically, I want to say they do lunch and dinner. Not going to get breakfast on Friday morning. Probably not Saturday morning either. Saturday morning of camp out is typically the same thing with some a little bit more fun happening in the evening. So again, there'll be a group ride in the morning, and then for this particular camp out, October 2023, they've gotten Michael Winslow from Police Academy, and he was actually in Spaceballs as well. But he's the guy that does all the funny talk. What do you call it? Like noises with his mouth. I don't know how to describe it. Like, he's a funny guy. He's a comedian. He'll be there doing a performance, but then we also typically do karaoke that Saturday night. That might have to get moved to Friday. I don't know how that's going to shake out with having Michael Winslow there. Sunday, I know the last few campouts I can think of, Josh and several others help put breakfast together for people, and then a lot of people just get up, leave. That's okay. It's, all the fun things have to end eventually, so this is when most people leave. If you stick around till Monday, there's not going to be that many people there, but the expectation is that unless you know David and Cindy really, really well, don't expect to be staying on property past Monday. All right. Now, with all of that fun stuff out of the way, let's get into the rules. So these are not outright, written down rules, but my number one rule, and I think Josh has come to consensus with me on this, is the number one rule is be cool. So everybody is an idiot. Everybody makes mistakes. But what makes you cool is if you do something dumb and you don't know you're doing something dumb, but then somebody comes up to you and says, hey, we need you to stop that. Don't get upset. It's okay. Everybody there is pretty understanding. Nobody's gonna brawl over it. It's just, be cool. Don't get mad. Number 2, don't be a trash bug. Don't litter. Again, this is their home. This is David and Cindy's home. Their home is on the property. The boys have their tiny homes on the property. Don't litter, and especially don't leave cigarette butts or any sort of smoking product butts. Cool. Number 3, obey the speed limit on Little Stearns and Stearns Road. Those are the 2 roads coming into and out of the property. There's speed bumps on Stearns Road, so if you want to go fast, you better have really good suspension, but please do not do that. Just keep it easy going. Try not to, I know I'm probably guilty of this too, but like try not to, honk your horn or rev your bike out too much on those roads. Again, you learn as you go, but have fun, but try not to have too much fun on those roads. It's also like a quarter mile. So there's going to be a lot of bikes coming and going. So just understand that, yes, this is probably an annoying thing for their neighbors. And we want to continue to have this at that property. So be respectful. Number 4, please do not do burnouts in the grass. I know I've heard that David has been quite intent on repairing his grass and getting it, looking really nice. So there's been people that have, been ripping around on bikes, mini bikes, whatever, doing burnouts. If you're gonna be on mini bikes, and I'm actually genuinely concerned because I'm planning on bringing my Grom there, and it has knobby tires. So if you're on my Grom, I can say this confidently. If you're on my Grom and you start ripping around, tearing up the grass, or doing burnouts on my Grom, I'll just take the key and we'll park it. So keep that in mind. I want everybody to have fun. I want everybody to tootle around on the Grom. You can make as many laps. I think on Jerry's Grom last year, we did over 100 miles just on the property going in circles. So that's okay, but it's not a racetrack, and there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of tents, a lot of vehicles. So have fun, but don't tear up the grass. The 5th rule that I've come up with was, well, not me independently, but this is one that's pretty well agreed upon at this point. While you're on the property, you are representing the charity. And what I mean by that is that there's going to be YouTubers and other people there that want to capture the moment, take video, take photos. So what you do while on the property is going to be representative of the charity. I don't know how else to put it. Just don't try to avoid anything lewd or rude, dude. This is their home. This is, again, so it's not just some campground in the middle of nowhere. This isn't a biker rally. This is their property. They've invited us to hang out on it, obviously for the good cause of supporting the charity, but don't do anything that you wouldn't want posted on the internet at a later date. And next one isn't even really necessarily a rule, but it's a line of thinking. So but if this is your first camp out, the first time you come, you're a friend. Next time you show up, you're family. And I think that's David's saying. So I think on the first one, it's okay if you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to contact about volunteering and helping out with tasks and stuff like that. I think with the first one, just show up, enjoy it, meet people. And then, next time you show up, the expectation is that, you're family. So that means you're going to have to pick up some slack, do some chores, take out the trash. It's simple things, but there's going to be a lot of people there. There's going to be a lot of tasks to get done. So appreciate you chipping in. And then, I talked about it earlier, but my rule number 7 is if you see someone hanging out by themselves, go up and talk to them. Ask them if they want to hang out with you or who you're hanging out with. Just get to know people. Nobody there should feel like a complete stranger, and that we want everybody to have a good time. So just recognize that there's some people that are probably like a lot of us that just not outgoing, not extremely extroverted. So it's maybe a little bit more difficult for them to meet new people. This is your time. This is your time to shine. Go up, talk to those people. Make sure that they're not feeling lonely or left out. All right. Now, kind of some other final bits and bobs about this particular weekend. Again, it'll be Halloween weekend. We agreed to do a Ren Fair theme. So if you don't know what a Renaissance fair is, that's usually people dressed up like, just think medieval. I don't know. Like, some people will be dressed up kind of like Vikings. Some will be dressed up, I don't know, like, if you know Assassin's Creed, if you know Skyrim, that, costumes like that. I'll be dressed up. But it's not required. You'd be a lot cooler if you do, but I already know some people are like, man, I'm not dressing up. So be cool, dress up, do Ren Fair stuff. It's Halloween themed. It's okay to be a little silly. Or it's Ren Fair themed on Halloween weekend. It's okay to be silly. That's my point. Other thing, if you want to volunteer, and you like, this would be, obviously this video is coming out in advance of the camp out. So if you want to volunteer for this camp out, October 2023, from the 26th to the 29th, and you're like, how do I get on a list? You can email Shay Lisi at rapstar.com, and she will put you down on a list of volunteers, and you'll get assigned a task for a certain window of time on a particular day. So in the past, I know I put myself down for, going around the property, pulling trash, replacing trash bags for the morning of the Friday. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but that's one example. But there's plenty of other tasks, and you can get on that list. If you don't have email, or you don't want to email or whatever, when you show up, find Shay or find me, and I'll help you find Shay, or find David and Cindy. We'll get you a task. If you want to volunteer, there will be plenty to do. And then the last thing I had on this list was, in the past, there's been people that have brought bigger vehicles like RVs and stuff like that. Please do not just assume that you can just show up with that and park it anywhere. I don't know a whole lot of details about what for this particular camp out, but historically they've been parked in a certain section. It sounds like that may not be as available this go around, so don't assume you're going to have electric hookup. There's definitely not going to be like a Blackwater tank dump site. Like this isn't like a campground like that. This is just a property that we could probably have some RVs on, but if you're going to bring an RV and you've never brought one before, you never talked with David about it before, please reach out to David at ForgottenAngelsFlorida.org. Connect with him. It's probably going to be okay, but do the due diligence. Get permission first. So beyond that, otherwise I would just say, show up, come hang out with me and many others. Meet people that you've seen on the internet, meet people that you never met before, never seen before. You're going to have a great time. That's my 2 cents, and I hope you abide by that. If you have any other questions, you can hit me up. I'll put my information. Actually, it's right here. Hit me up on Instagram. Here, there's a link. Instagram.com/theloosejuice. Cool? Sounds good. Looking forward to seeing you all. Keep it juice.